everyone, it's Rachel. I also go by Ray Marie Luna. That's my writing name. And this is Isla Mujeres behind us. And I'm writing a book. I took that picture. I'm writing a book that is set there. And so one of these days, I'll start telling you about that. I am currently three-quarters of the way through the second draft. And by the third draft, I'm going to start asking for readers. Some of my friends will help me. So anyway, so today's topic that I'd like to discuss is the imperfect person's experience or guide to going through a job search. And I feel like when I'm going through my job search, I feel like everyone else out there is super perfect and I am a super bozo. And I feel like I can't be the only one who feels like that. Like, other people must feel like that too. I think it calls into question every aspect of your worth possible, and you doubt and you question yourself. And I mean, going through these interviews, they make you doubt and question yourself. Like, they pick on every little thing, and the job market these days feels particularly picky, maybe because there's more people out there, so they can get, the young guns who will take less money, who will do more work. Like the seasoned people know certain job descriptions are BS. In the executive assistant world, I was interviewing for a role and it looked great. Then it was about, I would say $40,000 less than what I have made at the top of my earnings. And they wanted me to be there. So I'm covering the the CEO, a couple of people in the C-suite, and I'm going to work the front desk. And I have to be there at 7 in the morning. Like, what? But then it's like, this workforce, this work world, there's an article in the Atlantic today. I just saw the headlines. I haven't read it yet about how the work week isn't going to end. Like, you don't get a break anymore. And it's just the money is up here and us plebes are down here. And we're just, we got to get a job. We got to work. So I am the imperfect person in this Darwinian shit show of, I feel in particular, like our generation in particular is going through. And if you're young, I know that you also are going through it too, because I see it, that's hard for them too. It's hard for everyone. And then we start to get bitchy to each other, like, oh yeah, well you're old. Yeah, well you're young, and F you and F you. No, we're fighting the wrong enemy. The enemy is the machine. Read the book, Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. It's all about the machine. It's the machine. That's why we had QAnon. It's because of the machine. So anyway, in terms of being an imperfect person going through a job search, how do you get through it? Well, first of all, I'm sober for 10 years, so I have not used drugs or alcohol to get through all of this and to cope with my feelings, but I have taken a lot of naps. I have done a lot of meditation. I have done a lot of prayer, and it's a higher power of my own understanding. My higher power might not be your higher power, but it works for me, and it's been very helpful. As mentioned, I've been working on a book. Some days I have the mustard to do it. Other days I binge watch TV and YouTube, and probably I'm not taking good care of myself. I know I'm not, because I've gotten at times very depressed. I've gotten very introverted. I don't want to leave the house. I just want to stay in my comfort zone. And it's hard. It's like a form of grief. And I see it is hitting a lot of other people my age even harder, because back in the day, you look at shows like Friends and you see people working in a coffee shop, and you could pay your rent working at a coffee shop. And there was a time when I paid my rent working at a coffee shop because I had roommates and could do that. But these days, there's no way in hell you could do something like that. I mean, without some kind of subsidization or assistance or having people with you, I don't think I could, as a 55-year-old woman, make a living working at a coffee shop unless I don't know, downgraded substantially. And it's not like I have a fancy situation anyway. But there are a lot of things, like whatever your situation is, there are things that can weigh on you. There could be people who are trying to support families. They could be the sole provider. In our generation, some people had their act together, and some people were artsy like me and really didn't. And I of all my friends, am kind of in the middle of having my act together. And the people that I would say just never really wanted to work, or they didn't really want a career, or they kind of worked in retail, or they were in bands and they had side jobs, but they still wanted to be in bands, but the bands never really went anywhere. I think it got harder and harder and harder for them because some of these people are now in their 60s and 70s. And if you partied, I mean, aging is really bad when you hit 50, especially. Just stop. So, anyway, so all this is to say that if you're an imperfect person going through a job search, don't let it get to you. Don't start questioning all of your life's choices. One quote that stayed with me is, just because it could have been better doesn't mean that it would have been. So just because you can look back and you can say, oh, if I hadn't married that person, if I had done this, if I gone to that school, and you have like a midlife crisis of all my choices, and here I am, I'm up, you know, Schitt's Creek and without a paddle, and I'm screwed. Just remember that there are ways to pivot, and if you stop worrying long enough and you relax, and for me, you turn to your higher power or like your inner knowing, or an instinct, or a stronger part of you that resonates throughout all of the noise. Like, you can get this Greek chorus sometimes that's very judgmental on you, and mine will get very judgmental on me, but you kind of have to just put it aside as best you can and do your best and keep hanging in there, and don't doom scroll. Don't even talk about your job search. People will say things that hurt you. They'll say, oh yeah, I saw the market, no one's getting jobs, I know so and so, they didn't have a job for 2 years, or this or that or the other, that just kind of starts to give, like, defeat you. And it's already kind of a defeating experience as it is. Like, it's a very emotionally visceral, hard, in my experience, a hard time. But I think that you can get through it and you can hang in there and you can wait for another day and just don't give up, because there are some days when you feel like, what do I have going forward? Because in the old days when you're young, you have so much runway ahead of you that setbacks are just kind of seem like another bump in the road. But when you get older and you hit setbacks, they really take a lot out of you, like a divorce, losing parents, your kids get older and they have problems, friends, close people, fallouts, job losses, really unfair situations where you find out that the world is a harsh, cold, cruel, effed up place when it comes to some the encounters you've had with some people. Because you can't get bitter. You can't let those people destroy your spirit. You have to keep hanging in there. One of my friends reinvented himself. Maybe he'll see this video. And he got into his own little side hustle that turned into a lucrative business of dog watching, dog sitting, and dog walking. But he's still a very creative person, and now he's branching off into another line of consulting work. And he's so vibrant and wonderful, and I just love his zhuzh. So your zhuzh has a place, and just because the world is very capitalist and corporate, and Jeff Bezos and Peter Thiel, and they're going to centralize all of the money to make us all be robots. When the robots take over, I mean, what would expect us to do? We're going to eat rocks? We're not going to eat rocks. History shows the revolution comes when people can't get bread. Okay, anyway, that's my soapbox. So anyway, so that's it for today. And one parting thing is, as you can see, I'm into flashcards, but I do this for my recovery. Is I also have creative ones with positive affirmations, ones that I have purchased. Like this one is about doubt. Can you see it? It says, doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. See, that's perfect. And I feel that we cosmically are surrounded by maybe loved ones who have been with us. And I don't think that we get forgotten here on earth. And maybe that's like a little woo woo, but I feel like, at the end of the day, I'm going to find my way for me personally. And I trust that you folks will too. And I just wanted to offer encouragement because some people get really, really down and the stats out there aren't good for our age group, especially for women who start getting into drugs like painkillers. You go weed, you go booze, and it's not strong enough. You get into painkillers, it escalates into heroin, then into fentanyl because it's cheap to get. Just stay away from that. It's not going to help you. Our age group of women who are menopausal, they have very high suicidal risks. So just keep hanging in there. You don't have to be perfect. There are a lot of imperfect people out there, and that's just all I'm trying to say is imperfect people do job searches, and you see these videos on there, and they're all like, chip, chip, I got my suit on, I'm just twink, twink, preach, and Louis Vuitton, the bitch of you. No. Come on, you're real. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Bye.